それではですね、本日のイベントを始めたいと思います。So let's get started. So today's event is Swisstech Pitch 2022 at CIC, so Life Science and Healthcare Innovation around BioJapan 2022. So, すみません、本日のイベントなんですけど、英語のイベントになります。この後、ご紹介させて、同時通訳についてご案内させていただきます。ちょっと待ってくださいね。はい、それでは本日のイベントを始めさせていただきたいと思います。で、本日のイベントは today, so we have a simultaneous interpretation. So today's event is basically in English, but if you would like to so hear this event in Japanese, please please use simultaneous interpretation mode in Zoom. So if you are here in CIC Tokyo, please join the Zoom. And if you are in online, so please choose the Japanese from the translation interpretation button. それでは、ですね、本日のイベント、英語になりますが、日本語の同時通訳準備させていただいております。会場参加の方はですね、こちらのこちらの QR コードからズームの方にお入りいただき、でそこからですね、ズームに入って、右のように、翻訳ボタンからです、日本語モードをお選びいただければと思います。And also before start the event, so please, so we would like to ask you about our standards about the COVID-19. So I think that most of you already sanitize your hand at the entrance of Mori building, and also you have already checked your body temperature. So if your body temperature is above 37.5 degrees, so please, we cannot allow you to be here. But I hope all of you clear this point. And if you speak out, so please wear your mask. And also, in this event, so there are a photographer on the video shooter because this is the embassy of Switzerland in Japan would like to use this event, would like to take the photo of this event for the purpose of promoting their Vitality.Swiss event. And if you don't want to be in the photo, please say no to the photographer. And this is today's schedule. So after that, so we have the opening remarks, and also after that, so we have 9 startups from Switzerland and have a pitch. And after that, we have several things like wrap up and closing remarks and introduction of Vitality.Swiss. And after that, we have the networking session only for the participants in CIC Tokyo. So we have the networking session, not here, but the back side of this event venue. So please go there after the event. And then let's start the event. So opening here, we have the opening remarks. We have the Ms. Suzuki from the Embassy of Switzerland in Japan, so for his years.
Thank you very much, Ayano-san, and good evening to Tokyo, and good morning, I think still, to Switzerland. My name is Kyoko Suzuki. I'm the head of the Science and Technology Office at the Embassy of Switzerland in Japan. On behalf of everyone at the Embassy, I would like to give you a warm welcome, and also would like to tell you that you are here at the very right place if you are involved in life science, innovation, and technology. First thing, and I can give you reasons for that. So as you may know, Switzerland has been selected as the most innovative country in the world in the Global Innovation Index by the World Intellectual Property Organization for the 12th year in a row. We are the innovation hotspot. And then we have also some strongest universities. Some of our startups are university spin-offs, but we have the only university that is not from a country that is English-speaking in the top 10. It's the only country with a university in the top 10, and our other universities are also ranked very high. So we have strong research, as you can see. And then another reason why it's the right place is that Switzerland science and technology policy has strategic focus areas. And the current strategic, 3 out of the 2 strategic focus areas are on personalized healthcare and related technologies and data science. And you will see many startups here today that are at the crossroads of the strategic focus areas. So they're very strong startups. Switzerland has traditionally been interested and very impactful in international collaborations on innovation. And this is obviously quite natural, being at the heart of Europe, but Switzerland is also very interested in collaborating with Japan. We have set up a new location the Swiss government has to promote exchanges in science and technology. This is the new consulate in Osaka called Swisstech Japan, and they are hosting internationalization camps for Swiss startups. And here I am told that we are receiving even more interest from Swiss startups than in San Francisco. So you can see that the interest is really here. I would like to just add, before going into the gems or passing the floor on to the real gems, that will give you the real reason, or that will really prove to you that you are here in the right spot tonight. This is really an initiative of Switzerland as a whole. Swisstech as a brand is really supported by not only the Swiss government, but also industry and academia. It's a countrywide initiative. And so we are really very serious and focused on making this happen, and we hope you are too. Before giving the floor, sorry, one last thing, I would really like to thank our host tonight, CIC Tokyo. They've been an excellent role. They've played an excellent role as organizers today, and to all the startups that made the effort to join us tonight from Switzerland, in person, online. Many of them will be at BioJapan at the Swiss Pavilion starting tomorrow. So please also make sure to visit them if you are in Yokohama. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kyoku-san. So it's also a great honor for us to have this event collaborating with the Embassy of Switzerland, because as you know, so Switzerland is really famous for healthcare and biotech. And so we really would like to connect with our biotech startup ecosystem in Switzerland. So, okay, so let's move on to the pitch event. So as you mentioned, so we have 9 startups, but also we have 3 commentators here. So I would like to introduce these 3 commentators. So first is Dr. Tomoyoshi Koyanagi from Kyoto University. And the second is Ms. Adzer Shiohara from University Tokyo Edge Capital. And the third one is Dr. Akifumi Morinaka from JAFCO. So also all these 3 are biotech professionals. So yeah, we hope that there are interesting discussions with biotech startups from Switzerland. And let's go to the pitch session. So we have some 9 startups here. So pitch will be 4 minutes, and the Q&A will be 3 minutes. Yes. So first is Resistell. So Greg, so the floor is yours. So please share your screen and come here.
That's good. Works? Works, yes. So welcome everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation. And my name is Greg and I represent Resistell. At Resistell, we are developing the first-in-class nanomotion technology platform. So what is this nanomotion? Basically, everything in nature vibrates, and so do living cells. It's the first time in the life science history where, thanks to our technology, we can measure vibration of this biological material of any kind. So our technology platform consists of hardware, MEMS sensors, cantilevers. We've got sample preparation kit. We developed software for acquiring this data from our device, and also machine learning platform, which allows us to develop different classification algorithms. On the previous slide, you have seen the concept, and here you can see our first marketed research device, Phenotech. On the right side, you can see a micromechanical sensor cantilever with coated bacteria on it, and a few screenshots of the data acquisition, cloud platform, and example report with the classification of bacterial strains. So how do we measure it? So we use the sensors, as I mentioned, to which we glue biological material. But what are they really? Imagine a trampoline in front of a pool, and imagine people you put on this trampoline. Once people move, the trampoline moves. If you put people to sleep, trampolines moves less. If you give them something they like, they will enjoy it and move more. Then the trampoline vibrates. We measure exactly this vibration just simply in micro nanoscale. And we use it using, we do it using optical photodetection system. So in addition to the research platform, which we already marketed, we are developing clinical applications. And the first one is the problem of the speed of diagnostics for targeted antibiotic treatment for patients with bloodstream infections. The results of the current technologies come far too late. And with our clinical study on the first 120 patients performed in Lausanne, we have already proven that we can get time to result of 4 hours, very important with standard deviation close to 0, comparing to the other methods. We also have the data, not in clinical study, but preclinical, where we can show the time to result can be easily shortened to below 2 hours. In addition to bloodstream infections, we have proven to be able to test the viability of elementary body of chlamydia. We have a lot of data on tuberculosis with time to result of only 16 hours, phenotypic test. We work for urinary tract infections. We have proof of concept for Helicobacter pylori, main cause of stomach ulcers, antifungal susceptibility testing, cancer testing, actually the dosage of the cancer therapy, and lately very, very important indication is the personalized phage therapy, where we can show which phage at what time is actually impacting the cell. Total estimated market, total available market for Resistell technology, it's calculated to be over $250 billion. And we are searching for industrialization partners for the development of next generation device, MEMS manufacturers which have experience in large-scale manufacturing of sensors, commercialization and distributor partners, and as every startup, never-ending search for investors. I will be looking forward to your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's really interesting technology to using MEMS. I'm interested in MEMS. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm really happy to hear about the MEMS is applied to this area. Thank you. So could you have any comments from commentators?
Yeah, I have a question. Yeah, thank you very much for the great science and the very attractive market. I actually want to know more about, is that technology SPL related or using different technology?
Sorry?
Like vehicle or something?
If we could replace the sensor, you mean? Mm-hmm. Well, we could replace the sensor, definitely, yes. That's our goal. So we use cantilevers because simply we had a lot of experience with it. However, there is a lot of different similar sensors which we could easily use to measure the nanomotion. And the value added actually in what we are developing, it's not necessarily the application of existing cantilevers, but it's actually the very advanced algorithmics which we developed to understand what the vibration patterns mean in micro scale. So our data set is right now over 15 trillion data points. And on this, we can learn how the vibration of cancer cells, mammalian cells, whatever cells you take, bacteria or yeast, what this vibration really means. And this also corresponds to the real-time monitoring of metabolic activity of the given cell.
You're monitoring the actual activity of the bacteria?
Correct. Oh, correct. So we are monitoring, I don't know if I can quickly maybe open some presentation if we have time. Will you work PowerPoint? Just some examples. Okay. Scientific.
Meanwhile, I want to give it one insight. So I used to work for the Sun Fisher Scientific, and this kind of technology is very attractive. But to get into the market, you have to convince your customers using your technology itself. And if you can start like a pre-marketing already, those kind of information will be very appreciated.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so go ahead with the question.
Okay, so thank you for showing your excellent technology. I have two questions.
Yes.
The one is, so could you discriminate microbe to microbe? So your technology can can monitor whether this microbe is there or not. But so what microbe is moving?
If we look at the data at E. coli and tuberculosis with bare eyes, you see different patterns. It's the same if you look at elementary body of chlamydia to any other bacteria, you can see it with bare eyes. However, our focus was on development of the algorithms right now for the classification of susceptibility and resistance, and also the bacteriostatic effects of different drugs. We believe that in the future, with accumulation of more data, we'll be able to identify the species of bacteria based on the vibration patterns.
Thank you. So as you say, to discriminate what microbe is infected is
correct.
Very huge unmet medical needs regarding microbe discrimination.
Our first indication in this one, we are planning a project, is actually discrimination for urinary tract infection if a bacteria is E. coli or not. Because this way we already know that 90% will go standard path, and then we have 10% exclusion for different treatments.
Good. So, and the second question. So, is this technology not requiring, is this non-labeling technology, right?
This is lab bench.
So there is no need for any reagent or other.
Well, you need reagents, of course. You need reagents, and the main key, the challenge in microbiology is immobilization of cells, not only microbiology, overall in biology. So we have developed our own protocol with special glue, which is immobilizing any sort of material on the top of the sensor.
Okay, good. So
it's pretty simple.
The running cost is very low.
Right now, it's very high. That's why, as you could see on my previous slide, I mean, it's not very high, but it's not low enough to become global new diagnostics. That's why we said we are searching for large-scale manufacturers of MEMS with which we are able to optimize the cost of production. Currently, I mean, I can say that those are all chef cantilevers. They cost between $30 and $40 per piece. And this should be actually the sales price. So there is a big space for the optimization of the COGS for the project.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So time is over. So thank you again. So Greg.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So next presenter is from online. So Phil from machineMD. So Phil, so could you speak? And also,
hi, good evening. Do you hear me? Do you see me?
Yes, we can see you now. So please share your screen and start the presentation. Floor is yours.
Fantastic. Good evening, Tokyo. Good morning, Switzerland, and good afternoon from Dubai. I'm at a Swisstech event, GITEX, which is the largest tech event. So it's amazing to join you virtually for one of the largest medtech events. Let me just share my screen. And Kyoko Suzuki, Ayano Kagami, thank you so much for the opportunity to present to you today. And I look forward to telling you about machineMD. Do you see my screen?
Yes, now we can see your screen.
Fantastic, thank you. So my name is Phil Norris. I'm head of commercial strategy at machineMD. I'm going to talk about three things in the next few minutes. One, using our eyes as a window to the brain, so the subspecialty of neuro-ophthalmology. Two, our unique combination of virtual reality and artificial intelligence. And three, the opportunities with us to partner on both the academic front, the industry front, and from investment. At machineMD, our mission is to reduce suffering through the early diagnosis of neurological disorders. And we achieve this through the standardized and quantifiable medical examinations. Let me tell you about the context. A neuro-ophthalmic exam, for example, in the United States, has a median waiting time of 200 days. The exams are performed manually and take around 45 minutes to do a complete exam. And yet 49% of the referral diagnoses are incorrect. So this is a challenge, and we have an opportunity here to improve accessibility so that more specialists here can perform the exams, to automate the process so that the exams can be performed in a standardized way and faster, and to increase the accuracy through quantified diagnostic data. You see on the right-hand side here, our founder, Matthias Arberg. He's a professor of neuro-ophthalmology from the University Hospital of Bern. So this is how neuro-ophthalmic exams are done today. I'm sure you're familiar with it. And this is how they will look in the future. So we're bringing together three macro trends: virtual reality, artificial intelligence, and the potential of telemedicine in the future. This allows neuro-ophthalmic exams to be standardized into a virtual reality headset so that medical practice assistants can perform these 8 key exams in just 8 minutes. The reports that come out of this are standardized. They're based on industry-leading eye tracking data, capturing the eye movements at 200 frames per second. Because these are electronic, they can be attached to electronic patient records. And these are indicative of diseases such as neuromyelitis optica or multiple sclerosis in Europe, brain tumors, and stroke. You see on the right-hand side here some of the charts. So looking at the afferent system, and you see here the times under a second that a doctor normally, as they're using a torch, tries to judge the size of the eyes. So this gives much greater data. Our customers are ophthalmologists and neurologists, and then to expand this network, orthoptists as well. Reimbursement codes exist for manual exams as are done already, and these depend on the healthcare system and the specialist that performs the exams. Competitively, as I said, most of these exams are done manually, so that's the main competition. There are a few high-tech startups, including VROR in Korea, Hiru in the US, and Bobitech in Norway. And machineMD has the highest fidelity and highest speed eye tracking. There's also consumer-based devices. So if we think of Apple devices that are able to capture eye movements, but not in the same way and not with the same specificity that our tests have. machineMD is a team of senior professionals. Chair of our board, Carsten Lauer, has previously exited from an ophthalmic startup. Dominic Sen is CEO, and supported by medical, regulatory, a technology team, and myself leading the commercial team. We have an expert team of neuroscientists from the University Hospital of Bern. We also have outsourced R&D capabilities with CSEM and Helbling, supported by InnoSwiss as the Swiss Innovation Agency. Our route to market, I briefly tell you, so last year we secured 1.2 million in seed funding. This year we just announced 3.6 million in a subsequent seed funding, and then we're looking for 5 to 7 million next year in order to go to market. So just to summarize it in terms of our timeline there, still in prototyping phase, it's been used and validated with 200 patients so far. Then we go through the approval process, and then we go to market launch. And of course, we'd love to add Japan as one of these key markets to do so. So there we go. I hope I was in time. Those 3 things, again, using the eyes as a window to the brain, our unique combination of virtual reality and artificial intelligence, and the opportunities moving forward to partner with us. Thank you so much. I invite your questions.
Thank you, Phil. So let's go move on to the Q&A session. So yeah, Azusa-san, please go ahead.
Thank you very much for your great pitch. So I'm interested in the positioning of this diagnostics in medical procedure. Would it be possible to replace the manual diagnostics with this device, or it's gonna support the manual judgment?
Because of the increased capabilities with the data that are a result of it, we expect this to replace many of the manual exams that are done. Now, I think as doctors, we know this intuitively. We still ask people to follow the finger just to see the eye movements. But if we actually want the data behind it, then this would replace those exams and make them redundant in the future. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Please go
Can
ahead.
I? Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for the nice presentation. And your presentation was more about based on probably from the engineering side. I want to know more about unmet medical needs. What is the best and very first indication you are talking right now?
That's a wonderful question. Next year, we will actually launch a multi-center study with neurology departments where we will use our device for screening all patients that come into certain neurology departments. And therefore, we can look at the correlation between what we measure and these. One example of an indication would be PSP, progressive supranuclear palsy. This needs distinguishing very early on from Parkinson's disease because the disease progression is much quicker. And for that, we are a unique and specific biomarker. So I think that's very promising for us.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so quick question.
Oh,
Yep.
so, is this device can diagnose Alzheimer's disease? So recently, the drug for Alzheimer's disease is approved by, not approved, positive result of phase 3 is recognized.
Yeah, thank you so much for the question. Indeed, going back to the mission of machineMD to diagnose neurodegenerative diseases, yes, Alzheimer's is on our target list, but we know that the measurements that we make at the moment, we don't have specific enough biomarkers for that. Now, it may be that some expressions of Alzheimer's can be observed through the oculomotor function, and it could be that adding other technologies, so being able to look at hand tracking, for example, in the future, could be one way that we can augment this with more data.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so time is up. So thank you, Phil. Big applause to Phil again.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much. So let's go on to the next pitch. So next pitch is also from online. So Philip from Netsensing Technology. So floor is yours. So could you share your screen and turn on the camera? Okay, so Philip, so floor is yours. Oh, sorry, we cannot hear you. Sorry, so we still cannot hear you. So could you check your microphone? Or so we can, if you take a time, so we can wait. So we can, we will skip you to the next pitch and. Okay, so please check your microphone. So, and then so during so Philip is preparing for your presentation, we would like to so move on to the next pitch. So Philip, so please stop your screen share. Okay, so we would like to so go to the next pitch. So next pitch is Axel from BigOmics. The floor is yours.
Sorry.
Okay. So, okay. So, I'm Axel Martinelli. I'm head of biology of BigOmics Analytics, and today I'm here to present you our solution for empowering biologists in analyzing their omics data. So, the problem that we noticed in the current omics data field is that biologists are basically swamped with data. It's much easier to generate this kind of data. It's cheaper, but the analysis hasn't gone in the same direction. So for biologists, there are really mainly two options that they have. One is to study bioinformatics, which can take a long time and it's a live process and can also result in error loss. And we can also ask a bioinformatician, but bioinformaticians are in short supply and high demand. So for biologists relying on them, this results in long queues before they can actually get their data analyzed. So our solution is to develop self-service analytic platforms that can be used by biologists to gain insights into their data and can also be used by bioinformaticians
to provide service to the biologists that rely on them for data interpretation. And the main advantage is that it makes analysis both more efficient and faster, as well as drastically reducing discovery times from months or weeks to just a matter of days. Our goal is to make platforms that are visually appealing and easy to use. And for those of you who are familiar with Tableau, our objective would be to become the Tableau of omics data analysis. Of course, we have competitors, but we see ourselves uniquely placed in the market in terms of combining both appealing visual and ease of use with deep and powerful statistical analysis without sacrificing one for the other. In terms of our business models, we use a B2C2B inbound marketing approach. We have a freemium models that allows users to start testing our platform for free and then move on to a professional account, or for larger biotech companies and pharmas to an enterprise model that includes extensive enterprise support. Now, we believe that this is a very important market. This is just showing you the exponential growth of biodata analytics, and you can see that in all the process of collecting and generating samples, by 2025, analysis will take the bulk, the lion's share of the budget. And just to make this point even more specific, this is collected from the SRA database that collects transcriptomics data sets. And you can see that since 2008, this amount of data has been growing exponentially year by year. And I want also to point out that the data collected there represents but a fraction of the total amount generated. Now, in terms of go-to-market strategy, we use both a top-down and a bottom-up approach. And we see as our ideal customers both biotech and pharma companies with between 50 to 250 employees and generating at least 10 data sets per year, as well as academic labs consisting of at least 4 members and with 5 data sets generated per year. This is our current enterprise pipeline, and you can see that we have both biotech and academic labs customers. And in fact, we already have paying customers, including Astellas, which is a well-known Japanese pharmaceutical company. We have assembled a strong team with 40+ years of experience in data analysis, including our co-founders and myself, as well as a strong board consisting of people experienced in the field. And finally, this is our current financing. We have achieved 2.7 million after our pre-Series A round. And we started by getting supported by T-Venture, a local Swiss investor. And later on, they were joined by Eppendorf, who is a well-known manufacturer of lab equipment. And since I heard the bell ringing, I will finish here. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you so much. Okay, so let's get the comments from commentators.
Thank you for our introduction. So, as you say, data analysis is very time-consuming and cost-consuming. So, what kind of omics could your technology analyze? So, there are so many omics in the world. That's a very good question. So, currently, we have 3 main platforms. The main platform that for which we have customers deals with both transcriptomics, single-cell RNA-seq data, and proteomics data set. We also have a multi-omics platform that we combine different types of omics, including genomics, methylomics, and so on. But this is still in beta development, so it's not out yet. And we also have what we call the RepSeq platform, which is for BCR and TCR analysis, so very specific to immunologists. Thank you. Excellent.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much for fantastic presentation. I want to know your proprietary technology, especially about probably that you are saying the self-service, but probably many biologists need some consultation to start analysis. So what is the like a customer workflow using your service?
So that's a good question. And in fact, we have been also asked by biologists to say, oh, can you do analysis for us, or can you recommend us? We don't do sequencing, for example, where we have connections with labs in Switzerland that can do that. So we do offer that as an extra service on top of our subscription. And usually we just say, fine, we just charge an extra bit if you need support from us in terms of interpreting the data. But apart from that, for example, uploading the data into the platform or teaching sessions, we do that as part of our business model. So there is no extra pay for that. And the idea is really, I wish I could show you how the platform works, but it's very user-friendly, and for biologists, they just need a couple of training sessions to start using it and interpreting the data.
I know one-stop service for customer to utilize the data.
Yes, that's the key word that I didn't dare to mention.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. So time is up. So thank you, Axel. Okay, Axel. So if Phil is okay, so Phil, so could you speak a little bit?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can now
Okay,
hear
good.
you. Yes. Yes,
Perfect.
next is again. So
Yeah, sorry, because
okay.
I think I have disconnected. Okay, so now
Okay.
I'm share my screen.
Yes.
Okay, good. So good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where we are. So I'm Philippe Koller from Netsensing Technology. So today we will talk about sleep. So sleeping is not an option, and as you know, sleep is essential to be in the good health. And Netsensing, we are helping people to have a better sleep. So who we are? So we are a company located in French part of Switzerland. We are close to APFL and CSEM, that was mentioned just before. And our company is enabling the mass detection of sleep apnea, which is a high pain actually in the world. Our device will go by rental through pharmacies. We have a property and patent IP, and today we have also blockchain capabilities. So sleep apnea is really a pain, as I mentioned, is eating 15% of the population and reduce life expectancy by almost 12 years. And the SAM is about 10 billion. So it's a huge market when you're targeting this kind of disease. So the pain is when you are not treating the sleep apnea, it can generate diabetes, heart attack, and other issues. So the problem today is that the fact that the device, I'm exaggerating a little bit with this picture, but just to show you that today the device who are doing the diagnosis or the detection are composed by tubes and wires. And the detection cost is very, very high. And on top of that, you have to wait a lot of time. So what we want to do is to democratize the detection by using a wearable device, which is able, let's say, to monitor 2 respirations and oxygen saturation. Very easy to wear, so that's very important for the patient, and to avoid false negatives and positives. So our go-to-market is going through groups of pharmacies. So we want really to democratize the detection by having the access with a highly structured and centralized distributions. So we have already contact with some of them. And of course, we are looking contact in Japan. So what are our business models? So basically, we are selling the device to the group of pharmacies. The group of pharmacies that are distributing the device to pharmacists, and the pharmacist is renting the device for 1 night because you have overnight results. And how we do our money, basically, by selling the disposable sensors. So the project status today, we have already raised in pre-seed 1 million in November 2020. We are ISO 13485 certified. We have passed preclinical tests on 15 patients. We have also passed the FDA pre-submission for a 510K, and the final product is ready. So actually, we are looking also to establish the contract manufacturing. So we are looking for a pre-series investments of 2 million in order to test the performances at the Charité Berlin Hospital, which is one of the most hospital in Europe, very known for the sleeping disease. And of course, the regulatory test documentation, get the FDA clearance by the first quarter of 2023. And of course, start also the CE marking to be able to sell in Europe. and start sales in the USA probably end of the next year. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. I'm open for your questions.
Thank you, Philip. So let's go move to your comments. Yep. Adisa, please.
Thank you very much for your great pitch. I didn't know that sleep apnea can shorten life expectancy by 12 years. It sounds like really a social burden. So my question would it be possible for you to sell it as a consumer product, not without being prescribed by the doctors? I think in Japan market that would be difficult, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think it's a good question, but basically, as a consumer market, it means that you don't have, let's say, the feedback also with the doctors, because basically we want to really democratize the detection, because the researcher, the doctors, needs more data. And if you targeting the consumer market, you are losing this contact. So that's the reason why we want really to penetrate the market through group of pharmacies or pharmacies, because they are well structured, but also to maintain the data collection is more easy for us.
So Akimi, please.
Yes, so regarding to this question, so is there any existing CPT code for this device?
Sorry,
is this reimbursed in US or?
So the device is not really existing as we are developing. So basically, you cannot get access to the device if you go in the free market, you know. So in the US, for example, you need to be FDA, of course, to sell the product. But what we want to do, it's of course to get the device accessible to everyone.
So thank you. So I suppose that if there is already existing reimbursement code for the usage of your device by existing medical device, it may be better way to regarding business model of a prescription device. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. So time is up. So thank you, Philip. Big proud to
Thank
him
you very
again.
much.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, so we would like to move to the next pitch. So next pitch is Gregory from Kralys. Could you share screen and turn on the video?
Yes. Just a second. Voila. All right, you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. So floor is yours.
Oh, good. All right. So first, I would like to thank the Swiss Embassy, Swisstech, and its amazing people for the opportunity to speak here today. It's definitely an honor. So I am Gregory Krieger, CEO of Kralys. We're a little Swiss health tech startup based in Montreux. So my love story with Japan began as a kid watching anime and practicing karate. Later, I had the opportunity to come here as a young researcher. I attended a cold nuclear fusion conference in Sendai. And well, since then, a lot has happened, and I'm going to present you the company and what we would like to do in Japan. So we're located in Montreux. It's a beautiful city at the border of the Geneva Lake. We currently employ 10 people here. We also have an office in Kiev, in Ukraine, where we employ 6 people. I was personally there a couple of weeks ago. And when it comes to our vision is to radically improve the lives of patients, the health of communities, and the joy of healthcare professionals. So currently we're having 3 products and services. So the first one is Katarina. It's an all-in-one software for doctors to provide care to their patients, manage their medical establishment. And currently it's being commercialized only in Switzerland, but soon we would really like to open it to the world and really have it accessible for everyone, everywhere. Any medical establishment, doctor, caretaker will be able to open an account and start using Katarina to provide care to others. So then we have a laboratory platform, which is a bit more, I would say, technical. where doctors can do orders, receive lab results. We also have a service called Operations Management by Kralys, where we manage medical establishments, and we really try to create workplaces where health professionals love to work there, and we try to deliver there the best patient experiences. So here you have an example of one of our interfaces. Some people work 12 hours a day with our products, others just a couple of hours during a replacement. And so we really made it our mission to bring simplicity, clarity, and warmth into the hands of health professionals. As said, we're trying to do things for everyone, everywhere. So I'm really proud also to have a team who, despite all the risks, is willing to go on site in tough conditions to coordinate our efforts on the ground. So here on the pictures, you can see we are present in Ukraine and Central Africa and Afghanistan as well. I mean, Afghanistan, not since the Taliban came to power, but we were before. A bit of history. So we have raised first in, when was it? August 2020, we have raised 250K. Then we have raised last year again 1 million, and now we're planning to raise again next year to finance our growth. And when it comes to Japan, we are open for business. We're looking for opportunities. We believe that we share a common passion for precision and for excellence, and that should make the working together easier. And voila, we would like to create a long-lasting relationship with Japanese companies, and this starting from today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gregory. So let's move to comment. So Tomo, please go ahead.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much for a nice presentation. I really want to visit Montreux someday because I'm a big fan of jazz. So I play trumpet. But anyway, yeah, so I know that many international companies are trying to get into the Japanese market using the very similar technology. I want to know, so GDPR is the big issue in Europe, and it's difficult to translate into Japanese market because Japan has the different kind of privacy law. So do you have any understanding or any strategy or having the partnership with Japanese company?
Yes, so definitely when it comes to regulation, in Switzerland, we have a bit more open regulation, and in European countries, we have GDPR. And the way I would say our IT is structured is we have microservices. So this really enables us to, I would say, adapt the way the data is being managed to different regulations without any problems. And well, it gets a bit technical. I can go into the technical part, but yes, technically, microservices enable us, one, to adapt our software to other regulations. And second, yes, we are also looking for Japanese companies who could help us adapt ourselves to the Japanese market.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I really want you to come to Japan and have the actual relationship or network with those companies.
Yes, yes. Julien is on site. He's in the room, by the way, but I'm not.
Thank you. So Azusa, please.
Thank you very much for a great pitch. Maybe a bit similar question, but in addition to the regulatory perspective, I think the workflow or needs that the medical facility has is very different from maybe facility by facility and also by country to country. How much do you customize your service, or is it like the customer has to use all the same services that you are providing?
So when it comes to the Katarina application to manage medical establishments, the software itself is quite flexible. So when you use it, you can already do a lot of customization for yourself. But then, of course, the goal of our customer success team is then really to work closely with our users to understand what their challenges are and how we can develop new modules, new features to help them. And that's really the goal. So we have really a basis which is very, very flexible. And then we really always reach out to our users to see, okay, how can we help you? What takes you time to do now? What is not profiting to you know, so on. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much. So time is up. So yeah, big applause to Gregory again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Hey, thank you. So yes, let's go move on to next speech. So next speech is Duncan from TwentyGreen. So floor is yours.
Konbanwa. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Great pleasure to be in Japan presenting. Thank you to all the organizers for this fantastic event. So I'm Duncan Sutherland from TwentyGreen. It's an EPFL spin-off producing the next generation of probiotics. What we're getting is 10 times more protection against intestinal infections than existing products on the market. In fact, in early life, many animals are affected by intestinal infections, and this causes diarrhea and the routine use of antibiotics, and it's linked to deficiencies in the gut flora. And in fact, the case of pigs, they receive the mother's milk, and many beneficial microbes are given to them in that process. But in pig farming, they only receive it for 3 weeks for economic reasons, instead of 3 months. And so the gut doesn't form properly, and they frequently get post-weaning diarrhea when they don't get the mother's milk. And one of the species is actually belonging to archaea, which they're then missing when they don't receive the mother's milk. And so the current model is, it costs about $160 for a pig at the farm gate, and about half a dollar is used on antibiotics today. The industry is moving away from that practice and looking for alternatives. So our solution is to enrich these gut flora that is then missing in these pigs when they don't receive the mother's milk. So this is the first scalable enrichment of this key archaea species that they're depleted of. And so we enrich this flora associated with the mother's milk. It's a powder that can then be integrated into the feed at about 0.1%. And it's got a comparable cost to antibiotics at around $1 per treatment for each pig. So we've looked in various intestinal infection models, including salmonella, which affects many pigs and other animals. And we get 10 to 100-fold more protection than lactobacillus, which is today one of the major probiotics used for this type of condition. And we've done a range of models, and we see consistently better growth, improvements in the mucosal immune system, and much better resistance against these intestinal infections. So this is an approach that we have patented. And what is the effect on the bottom line for the farmer? You see here he spends about 100 on the feed. It's 2/3 of a cost, and sells it at the gate for 150. Now, with the improved feed conversion ratio that we see in our trials, actually 12% better feed conversion ratio, here we've modeled with just 5% feed conversion ratio, that this means that the farmer can make better profits. So not surprisingly, pig farmers in Switzerland are very interested to get this solution, and we're working with them to bring it into the market. Agroscope is the organization responsible for certification in Switzerland, and they're also mandated to find alternatives to antibiotics, and we're working closely with them, as well as our production. It's an anaerobic bioprocess. It's a very, very novel process. Not currently, we're the first to do that. So we're based in the Valais, which is where there are many biotech companies such as Lonza. So we're looking to get a 2% market share in the animal health. It's a $5 billion industry, and that would translate in 2030 to about 100 million revenues for us across these different segments. And we're certainly looking for partners in Japan. As you can see, our strategy is to develop the product in Switzerland first, and then in parallel with partners in Japan. So we're very happy to be here at BioJapan this week, where we're meeting with some of the lead feed companies, with my partner, Markus Hefferli, who's experienced CEO of animal health and animal feed companies. So just to wrap up, we are raising currently 2.5 million and 7.5 million next year, and this could be a very interesting return on investment for investors. So we're certainly actively looking for investors to please come and meet with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Duncan. Okay, let's move to the comments. So Tomo, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, Japan is a volcano country, and many specialists in the eye care is existing here. The specialists can evaluate your technology, I believe. But at the same time, they know how difficult to treat or produce industrially based those kind of species. So do you, what's your proprietary technology for the production as a industry product?
Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, it is actually an anaerobic bioprocess. And as you mentioned, this is one of the challenges why it hasn't come into the market yet, because the industry and scientists have not found effective ways to cultivate it. So we've been developing bioprocesses for the last 5 to 6 years. And we've achieved, with a certain recipe and configuration of the bioreactors, an approach that will enable scalable enrichment of these key archaea species.
Is it competitive as a cost-wise?
Of course, now we're still at a pilot production scale. We've produced in the kilogram scale with 80-liter bioreactors. In the next phase, and what we'll use the funding for, is to go to a 1,000-liter production scale. Yes, our modeling suggests that it can be very economical. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
So,
so thank you for your presentation. So of course, the pig market is very huge. So at the same time, is it applicable to other animals such as cow or chicken, or ultimately to human for a clinical use or so on?
Thank you. Yes, that's a fantastic question. So in mammals, we see across several different species that a similar role for this archaea, this gatekeeper or these keystone archaea species. Yes, we could imagine also developing products for pets and also for other livestock. And we've also done some trials in aquaculture, and we've also seen some interesting benefits on that side as well. So there are a number of segments within the animal feed market where we could develop this product.
Thank you. It's a very scalable product.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. So time is up. So yeah, we're proud to Duncan. So thank you, Duncan.
Thank you. Goodbye. Good evening, everybody.
Okay, so next speech is Benedict from Synple Chem. So Benedict is online. So could you share? Yes. Thank you so much. Your floor is yours. So now we can see your slide.
Hi, greetings from Zurich. Very inspiring presentation so far. I'm Benedict, and today I thank you for giving me opportunity to present Synple Chem here. In the pharmaceutical industry, when new drugs or medicines are invented, they basically go through several stages. And first, a large database of known molecules is screened against a targeted disease, and often with robotic equipment. Then a hit molecule is transferred in the cycle in the middle. And most of these DMTA stages of design, make, test, analyze use automated methods. Just in the make part, there is really still an army of chemists manually with very traditional methods and very repetitively synthesizing many different variants of a new molecule, and this creates a bottleneck. Efforts to automate some of the synthesis work have been done, but the solutions all really require specialists, chemists, specialists in software engineering, and are really far too complex for the synthetic chemists to use efficiently. So therefore, we have developed a fully automated synthesizer for chemical structures based on disposable reagent cartridges that works in LNG to a well-known coffee capsule system. It is extremely easy to use for chemists, and the user simply inserts the starting material he would like to transform, then a disposable single-use reagent cartridge for the desired chemical transformation. And upon the push of one button, the machine generates the chemical reaction to generate the pure product in a very short time, safe and convenient manner. The setup only takes 10 minutes and is running then completely by itself, saving several hours of hands-on work per molecule, which has a huge time and cost-saving potential. And the chemist can actually focus on other projects to speed up the development and bring value to the project. Next to manual chemistry, though, in-house chemists, there is still the option of outsourcing, but there's also large robotic synthesis machines in the market already. However, as I said, they're really only an engineering solution, and the chemist has first to develop the application on these machines, which is far too complex for a traditional synthetic chemist. So, and Synple is really the only technology that combines a hardware solution together with the pre-optimized chemistry to obtain a very easy to use, efficient synthesis platform. And the advantages of the existing technologies have been recognized by many companies so far, from big pharma to smaller biotechs, academic people, and CROs. And they have already now the second generation of instruments in their lab. And with support of the customer base, we feel we are well placed to start the next stage of development, where now, if you remember the cycle where Synple wants to move now, not only from the make into the design space to connect the fields together. And this can offer chemists an even more easy and faster development cycle without in-depth training of all the technologies. And this we can do alone, but we do with our partner IBM and eMolecules. And we are also currently looking for partners in this field. So if you're interested, or you can either connect with us, or you can connect someone who might have some expertise in this field. And we are also represented in your event at the CIC by Katsuhiro Matsuoka from Scrum. I'm sure he is excited to talk to you later at the networking session. There you can see him here in the video quickly. Yeah, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Benedict. So let's have a comment from commentators. So Akumi, please go ahead.
So thank you for showing your excellent device. So how many reactions are covered by your device? So there are so many reactions in the area of medicinal chemistry.
Absolutely. So at the moment, we can cover 12 different reactions, and they are all very frequent reactions that come up every day in an organic lab. And we really want to basically take away the boring, the repetitive work from the chemist, and allow the chemist to spend more time on the complex reactions that would be really difficult to automate in the first place.
Good. As a reaction covered by your product are growing and growing.
Exactly. So every year we can develop 3 to 4 new applications.
Thank you. So is there any other comment? So Azusa, please go ahead.
Thank you very much for your great pitch. So I was wondering what was the key factor which made it possible to develop such a handy device which automate the chemical synthesis process, and how difficult for potential competitors to copy your idea?
Yeah, I think the most important idea was that we do not want to automate every reaction. We want to make a device that can automate, let's say, 50 to 80% of the automatable reaction, and we don't try to do everything. If you try to do everything, you're gonna fail. This was the most important idea behind it. And then the most tricky part of the development was to develop reliable reactions with a broad enough scope that they work for most potential reactions out there.
Thank you. So I think time is already up. So thank you, Benedict. So big applause to him again. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so next pitch. So next pitch is Michael from Cytosurge. So floor is yours. So could you share screen and come here?
Okay, thank you. My name is Michael. I'm representing Cytosurge. I was a co-founder 12 years ago with Pascal, and I'm acting president right now. I would like to present you the world's smallest syringe and two applications of it that are pushing boundaries in single-cell technologies. So I could have brought an example, but it would be impossible to see by naked eye. So I tried to compare it to a needle of a mosquito that draws blood from humans, and compared the nanosyringe is very small. It's a microfabricated device with a hollow cantilever, which is like 200 micrometer long. It's completely hollow. At the end, we have a pyramidal structure with a hole on one of the pyramidal side, which acts as a needle. So size-wise, it's perfectly fitting for single cell penetrations, for injections and extractions. But it's so small, we have to bring it into a setup using a polymeric cantilever holder and glue the tip on it. So we can use it upside down with adherent cells on a multi-well plate. So by using also a laser, we can measure the deflection of the cantilever and can tune the force that we apply to the surface or the cell. So we can do very gentle approach without harming the cell. In the back, we have the liquid reservoir where we can fill in a liquid that we want to inject into a cell. In order to control the syringe, we needed to develop the entire system or platform around it. We call it the product Omnium, which contains of a pressure controller to control the pressure to inject or extract things from a cells. We have stages with nanometer precision in XY, sub-nanometer resolution in Z direction to approach the surface, and also a lot of software to automatize workflows. One of the applications using injection is genome editing. Nowadays, established methods are using bulk transfection, using virus, liposome, or electroporation to transfect millions of cells and hope that several of these cells will be transfected, so they have to be sorted out, they have to be individualized, they have to be grown into colonies, which costs lots of time, a lot of consumables, lots of money. In our case, we can do this on single cell level. We simply inject the CRISPR complexes, whatever is needed to genetically modify the cells, directly into the nucleus. From there on, we can simply grow into colonies. We do that now with roughly 12 cells. 6 of them will grow into colonies that has been transfected. Then we can do the genotyping PCR and the sequence analysis and can deliver in very short time. Thanks to the syringe, we can deliver large templates, and we can also multiplex. We can inject several at a time because we can control the stoichiometric ratio, the concentration, and the amount that is injected. Another application is extraction of cells, and there single cell transcriptomics has come a long way, but they always need to kill or lyse the cell in order to analyze the content. We can simply extract fractions of the cytoplasma, also like a biopsy, taking a liquid out of the cell, use it for analysis, and we can do that several times on the same cell without killing it. So as a company, we like to offer our products and services. We do the cell line development or cell engineering service as cell engineering as a service. And please have a look on our homepage. We're also looking for investment to grow our business and automatize cell line engineering. You can contact me directly. I live in Japan, so I could also visit. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much. So let's have a comment from Tomo first.
Yes, very interesting technology, and thank you very much. And I have many questions, but let me pick up one one which I really want to know. Can you apply that for the organoid or like tissue samples? Not one single cells. Can you distinguish the single cell in the specific tissue, like pointing out cancer cells in a tissue, something like that.
Theoretically, this is possible using tips that have a different functional unit. Instead of a pyramid, we have a sharper, higher aspect ratio needle, so it would be possible. But we had to focus, so we do it only on adherent cells right now. But in principle, it would be possible, I guess.
So right now you're talking about more about adherent cells. What about blood cells?
As you mean floating cells, that is not adherent.
Or like attaching very fragilely.
Yes, we have to apply the trick to immobilize the cells on the surface, then we can do it and then release again.
Thank you.
Thank you for showing excellent presentation. So in the movie, in the presentation, so your product specifically inputs the reagent to nucleus, maybe. So is it possible to aim the level of organelle, such as nucleus or mitochondria or so on?
Yes, in principle, on the inverted microscope, you can pinpoint with a cursor, with a crosshair, where you want to have the syringe. You can have it in the nucleus, you can have it in cytoplasma, you can target organelles. It has been shown in a publication to transplant mitochondria. It's possible.
Oh, thank you. So a very precision injection system. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. I think time is already up. So thank you again, Michael. Okay, so let's move to so next pitch. So next pitch is John from Pipra, but actually, so John is now on the way from Narita Airport to here. So he already sent us a video. So please share the video. And so we also would like to ask comment from commentators after that. Actually, so John will join the networking session, hopefully. Yep.
Well, virtually at least, Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Well, virtually at least. I'm most likely on my way to your event from the airport right now, and hopefully we'll get a chance to meet during the networking afterwards. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have then. My name is John Klepper, CEO and co-founder of Pipra. And this is my mother. At age 70, she had a routine surgery and woke up a different person. For days, she saw monsters coming out of the walls and thought the staff were trying to kill her. She was terrified, confused, and in pain. What my mother experienced was post-operative delirium, the most common post-surgical complication that affects 20% of patients over 60 and has serious negative outcomes. 6-fold increase in nursing home admissions. 38% continue with long-term cognitive decline, affecting almost 60 million people per year and growing as our population ages. And for hospitals, an average cost of $7.4 million per hospital per year, mainly through a dramatic increase in length of stay. The good news is it's preventable, but effective treatments are too costly and take too much time to deploy for every single patient. If hospitals could identify high-risk patients prior to surgery, perioperative staff could focus on those most in need of preventive care. So our solution helps identify those high-risk patients with an AI-driven risk assessment software that actually allows for preventive measures to be taken for high-risk patients like my mother, dramatically reducing costs and improving outcomes. Our CE certified software, which you can see here, is designed to fit into the clinical pathway with a simple API that integrates into the electronic health record, extracting automatically routine collected data delivering an immediate stratification of risk with a high degree of accuracy. Driving this algorithm is the largest, richest database in the world on POD, which is our IP. We launched our software recently. We already have 3 paying customers in Switzerland. And I'd like to show you here the results from our first hospital, where you see 73% of patients are all in the low risk category, which is exactly what we expect to see, with none of them getting delirium. The patients with delirium were in the medium to very high risk. This was a very successful start. We have a very healthy sales pipeline with almost 30 hospitals waiting to use our software. And we've been very fortunate to win several innovation awards, most of them with money, which as a startup is always appreciated. And the market size is enormous. Over 43,000 hospitals just in our target TAM, giving us a TAM of $5.5 billion per year. And we already have access to over 100,000 patients per year through our partner hospitals in Switzerland. The business model is quite simple. B2B SaaS, pay per patient, $49 per patient, which is a tiny amount when you consider the cost of the surgery and when you consider the massive benefit of reducing length of stay and improving patient outcomes. We do plan to be reimbursed by insurance and become standard of care. On the financials, we get to break even already in late 2024. And what we see from our budget impact analysis is that we can save a mid-sized public hospital $3.2 million per hospital per year using our software. Pipra was founded by Nayeli, who's an anesthesiologist with 14 years of clinical experience. Ben, a PhD graduate from Oxford in pathology who worked at Roche and Pfizer. And myself, a serial entrepreneur with 1 successful exit so far. And we're accompanied by a brilliant team and advisory board with 6 key opinion leaders from around the world. But POD is just the beginning for us. Next, we're going to be adding automated delirium diagnosis, solving another major pain point in the hospital, and a stepping stone to personalized prevention of all types of delirium, which collectively is far more expensive to healthcare than diabetes. So far in our journey, we've had a very nice pre-seed and a seed round, which we closed around 6 months ago. We're now talking to investors about a pre-series A round. And you can see some of our international investors here from around Europe, from Switzerland, and from Silicon Valley. Together, we can ensure that people like my mother and our loved ones leave the hospital better than when they arrived. We hope you'll join us on this important journey. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon.
Okay, thank you. So though we can see and talk with him later, but I would like to ask a little bit short comment about his business from commentators. So Tomo, please.
Okay. That was a fantastic presentation, and I work for the university hospital. I'm not a doctor, but I'm working together with surgeons, and delirium is one of the biggest issue for them. Almost every year, some doctors are sued because of that reason. And but still, the reimbursement process for the diagnosis before the symptom coming is big problem. So I want to notify them many other teams, companies too. Japanese diagnostic market is shrinking, and our government is trying not to increase that burden. No, I guess no company was presenting about a strategy to how to deal with the FDA. And our PMDA always appreciate what the US doing or FDA doing. Of course, the EMA opinion is also important, but still we have to recognize how the biggest market in the world, the USA, is doing, and also how they are convincing themselves or their stakeholders to kind of convincing them to themselves to pay for that. that specific symptom. Anyway, yeah, it was great too, and really want to see him in a few hours.
Thank you so much. Okay, so time is almost up. So yes, so we already have finished our 9 startup pitch. So let's. So thank you. So thank you, please. So big applause to all 9 presentators again. Okay, so we would like to move to the wrap up. So as a wrap up, so I would like to ask the short impressions or comments from commentators again. So could you have several sentences from each of you? So Azusa, please.
Thank you very much for giving me really great opportunity to talk with a lot of innovative startup from Switzerland. I haven't had so much opportunity to talk with startup before, but all of the company have very unique solution to very burning needs of many people. So thank you very much for the opportunity to learning about that endeavor.
Great, thank you. So Akumi, please.
So it is very happy to see these excellent startups in Switzerland. So these companies the technology of these companies are very variable. So from chemical synthesis to clinical use. So the area of startup emerging is very huge, and it's I suppose that the future of or present status of Swisstech is very great, and I'm very impressed to hear that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the great opportunity to talk with the many Swisstech people. I realized I personally had a relationship with Stanford and UC San Diego a lot, and had a chance to take a look at their pitch. But today's pitch was based on the very cutting-edge technologies, and also the many engineers are enthusiastically working on the business to help patients and change the world. So I was so amazed with that, and really those kind of idea or kind of the trend, it's very similar to Japanese people too. I think we can share some information and hopefully the market information and the investment potentially and having the much deeper relationship with each other. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I would like to say thank you for all these commentators for great comments for startups and also the warm wrapping up comments. Okay, so before closing the event, so I would like to give you information about Vitality.Swiss. So Jonas, okay, let's come here. Now, floor is yours.
Thank you, Ayano. I'm not sure if we have to change. Thank you. All right. I'm Jonas Pulver. I'm the head of communications and culture at the Swiss Embassy. I know I'm the last one standing between you and the Swiss wine and the networking, so I swear I will be relatively brief. I just wanted to say a few words about our campaign, Vitality.Swiss. It's a campaign on the road to Expo 2025 Osaka Kansai. As you might know, the theme of this campaign is designing future society for our lives. And so we wondered how we can contribute to that through collaborations between Switzerland and Japan. I think tonight was really an excellent example of how we can do that. So we asked ourselves, basically, how can we foster a vitalized future? What are the common challenges to Switzerland and Japan? And we identified 3. Obviously, climate change is one very obvious one. Second one is aging society. And third one is the necessity to accelerate digital transformation. And so we came up with those 3 themes: health, healthy life, sustainable planet and human-centered innovation. And healthy life, well, I think tonight again is a perfect example. MedTech, health tech, but also age tech, nutrition, food, but it can also be, for example, work-life balance, well-being at work. In November, we'll have an economic forum, the Switzerland-Japan Economic Forum, focusing on well-being at work. So please follow if you can get more information about that. And of course, BioJapan with a Swiss booth is starting tomorrow in Yokohama. Sustainable planet, obviously, energy, decarbonization, but also regional revitalization, for instance, are important themes here. We've just had an event on the future of architecture and timber structure at Aichi Triennale. And next year, we'll be present with a project on fuel cell at the Fuel Cell Japan Expo. Finally, robots and artificial intelligence are at the center of our third pillar, human-centered innovation. I think images are worth 1,000 words, so please have a look at our video trailer. Okay, we'll have also other things around art and culture. So if you're interested, you can just go to Vitality.Swiss. It's the name of the campaign, but also the name of our websites. And I also have a few postcards for you with a QR code. I'm very happy to share that we already registered as a Team Expo 2025 partner. And I just want to finally thank you again, CIC Tokyo, and also our partners for the campaign, the Science and Technology Office Tokyo, Swiss Next Japan, who is also here tonight, the Business Hub Japan, Switzerland Tourism, and many others. Okay, and now I think I have said what I had to, and we can hopefully move to the... No, we cannot. Sorry, I spoke to... Thank you very much for your attention. Okay, bye, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Jonas. So just also before closing, I would like to mention about what is CIC Tokyo. So CIC Tokyo is not only our event space, but also we are the innovation center. So that's why we have not only this kind of event space, but also we have many office space for innovators, and also we have community, like especially in the biotech, healthcare, and also energy and the environment. So if you would like to join our community, so please ask us and also come to CIC Tokyo. And also we would like to say very much thank you very much to all participants, and that's why. This is a great honor for CIC Tokyo having this kind of global pitch event. And also I think all of you know, so the border is almost open, and this kind of opportunity will increase. So we hope we can have much more events like this. So thank you again, everyone, to come here.